hung in, had a great second quarter, went into halftime with the lead, came out, played very well early in the third. And then in the second half, the Blazers, as all good NBA teams do, they made their run, and their home crowd got into it, and they put a lot of pressure on us, and our guys responded, and we had a lot of big plays made down the stretch by a lot of people. I thought Jordan, down the stretch of the game, made some really, really big plays. I thought Lowry was outstanding tonight. He drew a lot of attention. He did a very good job playing physically through a lot of contact. Made some good decisions for us. And then obviously Bees off the bench was huge, scoring 29 points, a lot of big shots. Those free throws at the end were big. But somebody in particular I think that really stepped up tonight was Talon. Mike going down, you never want to see that leaving the game. And I thought Talon, his defense first was very good on Damian Lillard. Did a great job setting the tone for us and really settled us down and ran the team well during his minutes. So very happy for Talon. He works really hard, and for him to step up in that moment, not easy to do, and he delivered for us.
First of all, do you have any update on Mike's condition?
At the moment, we are awaiting the results on some further imaging, but he's in very good spirits and walking around and very hopeful.
Lowry had a little longer than normal sub out, first quarter to second quarter. What was the reason for that?
I thought that second group was playing well. It was the second night of a back-to-back, and so made the decision to try to steal any minutes possible for he and Mike. Talon was playing well, so I told Mike, hey, this group keeps playing well. You might not go back in. It's the second night of a back-to-back and want you to have some legs for the second half. Same thing with Lowry. It was just I thought that group had some good mojo at the moment, and those guys exert a lot of energy on both ends, so it was more trying to play the long game for the second half.
Talon's youth has kind of been a recurring theme throughout this year, so I guess what did you see out of him beyond what you brought up already in terms of his, I guess, kind of capacity to keep things steady, taking over from Mike down the stretch?
Yeah, I think for me it's just the general poise that he played with on the road, second night of a back-to-back. Their team's making a run, their crowd's going crazy, and he didn't flinch. He just stayed the course and executed what we wanted to do. Continued to play hard defensively for us, and just stepped up. Like, those moments are hard when you're on the road, and when you're thrust into a role that you haven't had yet this season to close the game. So I thought just his general poise throughout the second half was remarkable.
Game gets tight down the stretch, and Jordan really seemed to kind of take it upon himself to kind of take over in a few moments. I think he had several baskets there and won up 15 points on the court. What were you seeing out of him down the stretch?
Yeah, Jordan wanted the ball. Jordan has made a lot of really good decisions for us closing games. We had experienced a game where Mike didn't play against Memphis earlier in the year, and Jordan made a lot of really good decisions down the stretch. And so Portland was switching at the time, and we felt like if we gave Jordan proper spacing, that he could make some good decisions and have the ability to attack, for himself or for a teammate, depending on what the defense showed him. I really just love the fact that he mixed it up down the stretch. He didn't just settle for jump shots over a big. He drove the ball very well, got to the basket, hit a pull-up or a little mini fadeaway in the middle of the paint, hit the three ball. He did a good job showing his full ability on the offensive end. So I just think that his experience really, really showed in those moments.
Talon, we talked a little bit about it before with kind of his vision and his ability to distribute. Tonight it seemed like he was getting off the ball quicker. What you were talking about, kind of making his decisions like one step quicker. Were you surprised? Because it seemed like maybe yesterday he was still one step slow, and today, like, in a big moment.
Yeah, it's similar to the conversation that we had about Colin pregame. The progress doesn't move in a straight line. There's a little bit of up and down, and I think it was 3 games ago Taylor had 10 assists, and then he had a couple games where he maybe overran that point of decision a little bit, and I think tonight he's been watching a lot of film and working on it a ton, and I think it clicked a little bit tonight. He knows that it's an ongoing process, because we do think that Talon, along with Colin, they have such an ability to put pressure on a defense one-on-one, because they're hard to keep out of the paint. And so we're just continuing to work on their decision-making, and they're very bought into, trying to get their teammates shots when they can, and using their gift or their strength for the betterment of the team. So, again, just really happy for Talon tonight to step up in a big game like that, in a moment where we needed him, and he delivered for us.
Some of those big buckets that you're talking about from Jordan and from Malik, obviously, we know those guys can shoot the lights out, but how important is it that the shots they make are timely?
Timing's everything. It's especially coming down the stretch, to be able to push the lead from 3 to 5. Those are massive plays, because it changes the whole dynamic of, how you use your timeouts, if you foul or don't foul, what type of play they might run. Timing's everything down the stretch, and those guys have shown an affinity for big moments. I know previously I've called Bees a showman, and I believe that is still true. Jordan has his own flair that he plays with, and those guys have played in a lot of big games. They're not intimidated at all by those types of moments, because they've been in a lot of them, and their experience, it's really continuing to show as the season goes on.
Malik's been kind of quick to tell us during this hot stretch he's been on that he's not doing anything differently. Just more shots are going in now than were at the beginning of the season. Have you seen anything different from him, or is it really just passing?
There may be a little bit more to it than that. I think he's understanding our system a little bit better. The way we're playing with a lot of guys touching the ball and people moving a lot, sometimes you can get a little lost, and not lost like he doesn't know what's going on, but you can get lost in the mix because the ball just isn't finding you. I think the timing with which he's cutting, the timing with which he's coming off of off-ball screens has been really good, and his teammates have done a very good job of finding him in the right moments. As a shooter, when you have a reputation like Malik, sometimes the windows are very small that you can get the ball and actually shoot before the defense finds you again. So it's, partly his understanding, partly his teammates having great timing, getting him the ball, and yes, making them is better than missing them for sure.
Coach, so you took back the #1 seed in the West, and nobody thought of that before the season. So what are your expectations for the team for the rest of the season? Or in other words, what do you have any messages for the team?
Yeah, I think we're proud of the way that we've represented ourselves through 18 games. We still think that we can get better, and that's our focus. Like every team, we're not a finished product yet, and that doesn't mean that we're not proud of how we've played to this point, but we can't get lost in what anybody is saying about us at this point in time. We have to continue to work every day and try to continue to get better, because I think there's a lot of areas that we can improve. And while doing that, I want our team to continue to, as we say, keep the vibe alive. The guys are playing with a lot of energy and a lot of joy. Our bench, our locker room is very lively, and I want them to maintain that. There is a part of this that it always needs to be remembered that they need to enjoy this. They're in the NBA, and they've worked really hard to get here, and they're going to work really hard for this team to be as good as it can be. But while they're doing that, we want to have a little fun.
When they made that run after you guys were up 19 in the third quarter, it seemed like Eubanks was a big part of that?
Oh, God.
Problem?
Drew's been a pain in my ass for a long time. Sorry, if you can finish your question.
Why has he been such a pain?
Drew's a really good player. He's a physical beast. He has good hands. He's a very good athlete. Like, he's quick off the floor. He has a knack for offensive rebounding. You know, he's another guy, like, I was with him when he was a rookie in his first couple years in the NBA, and he's put in a lot of hard work to get to where he is, and I think it's pretty cool that he gets to, you know, play close to home, I guess, for his technically hometown team. And it seems like, you know, Chauncey likes him, and they trust him a lot. He's closed a lot of games, and he's continuing to get better and better. So I'm always happy for Drew's success, even though tonight I wasn't rooting for him at all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
To come in and take over for after Mike went out, what did you see out of him?
He's been playing great these last couple of games. You know, he's been a leader, and you know, he had a couple plays where he called out the play before coach even called it, and you know, he made the right plays. He had a pass to Vando that was huge for the dump off, and he's been playing great. You know, he's been leading our second unit, and we just follow his lead.
What's the mentality when Mike goes down early in the third, and obviously he's such a huge component of this team?
Yeah.
Kind of, how does everyone else kind of take it upon themselves to kind of like, all right, next man up kind of mentality? Like, what's the collective vibe of that point?
Just, yeah, like you said, next man up mentality, and we got to get this win for him. You know, he does so much for us as a team. You know, we got to make sure we step in and do everything he does and more, especially with him down.
You and Jordan, Will has said that it seems like you are both do very well in big moments.
Yeah.
That, you know, you're showmen, and I'm just wondering what it's like. Like, we know that you can make shots. We know that Jordan can make shots, but the timing of those shots, how important is it to be able to make those shots to maybe extend a lead so it's not a one-possession game?
Well, we just make sure we keep shooting. You know, we're great shooters, and we made a lot of big shots in our career. And I continue to tell JC, look, you're going to make the next 5 shots. Like, in the first half, he wasn't hitting, so I told him, you're going to make the next 5. We're going to need you. Just keep rolling. And he kept doing that, and that's what he did in the fourth quarter. I think he had like 10 straight. So, you know, we trust each other out there as a team. And no matter who's rolling, we try to get them the ball and, you know, try to play off each other.
Will was talking about the importance of kind of everyone remembering that to have, like, joy and fun out there. Like, is it fun to have moments like that where they're coming back, the crowd's going wild, and like every single time you guys are answering with a big bucket?
You know, for us, we like to keep it entertaining for some reason. You know, we can never just blow out a team. But at the end of the day, you know, we stick together. And when there was like 3 minutes left to go and they had a big run, we told everybody to just, we've been here before. You know, we've been in this situation before, just stay together and get defensive stops, and the rest will come. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.